So basically, you were telling me that you were telling these people I can't talk about this tea while doing this liner because what I'm about to say is some real shit. So I did my brows already off camera and now I'm priming the eyelids. So this is more so like a get ready with me. It's not really a tutorial. If you have any questions about products that I've used in the tutorial, I will put all the products used below. Even though this is a get ready with me type of style, sit down and talk, do my makeup in front of the camera and chat with you guys, I am going to be using some of my favorite e.l.f. products. Just because I no longer work there doesn't mean that I don't like the brand or the products, but I am going to spill some tea about my experience working at e.l.f. So I'm going to be using a soft glam palette. I'm not really going to be like showing you guys like step by step. So I started working at e.l.f. literally last August, so it would have been a year that I was working there. Shout out to my Broadway team because that's where I started, which is the flagship store in Soho. That's the first ever e.l.f. store. That's where I was hired and that's where I wanted to go back to, but they would not let me, which is a result of why I also resigned. I don't like to say I quit because like I put my best into that job and I got treated like shit basically. So working at the new store, I felt that we were rushed into a grand opening because the store was supposed to open in 2017 in the fall and it ended up opening the following year in January. It was like they needed people to open the store as soon as possible. We basically had 3 days to open the store. The team seemed very nice in the beginning and stuff like that, and I could tell you that right now most of that team that started there is not there anymore, including myself. So that explains a lot about that. But to get more in depth, the store started off great. And everything was going well. We were selling, we was making numbers, everybody was nice and friendly to each other. It was a very good setting. Then it was like the corporate wanted more. You know that you're working for these people and they want their money and they saw potential that the store can do so much better, so they were pushing for more. So that brought on more pressure and stuff like that. It did become stressful working there, especially after my grandmother passed away. I was an assistant store manager, so I had a very big role in that store since day one. So if you guys have been following me on Snapchat or following me on Instagram for a while, I always say that e.l.f. has played a big role in my makeup career. I've only been doing makeup for 2 years, but e.l.f. was the first brand that I bought all my makeup from and started dibbling and dabbling into makeup with. So e.l.f. will always have an important like storyline in my makeup career because it was the first brand that I bought makeup from, and it was also my first makeup job. So I'm gonna go into the tea now. So the store started off great in January. We only had 3 days to open. There was no training for the new people that didn't know company standards and stuff like that. So we had to do on-hands training while the store was grand opening. If we would have had more time to, you know, train the staff and let them know that this is going to be a high volume store. It's going to be a lot of people in and out and stuff like that. And it was a mall setting. So mall settings are very hard to work in because people are going to come to shop, but some people are going to come in and look and leave out. And that's what was happening. And a lot of the metric aspects of working there was very stressful. I'm going to go more into that. But the store started out great and it started progressively going downhill. And it was just like a chain of people just getting fired and leaving and stuff like that. So boom, in February my grandmother died, so I was not interested in being in a, you know, environment where I had to deal with people and stuff like that. But I stuck it out, and I kept, you know, kept pushing and kept doing what I had to do. So in the winter, the mall is slow. We had such a big opening. Corporate expected that we would be doing high numbers every day, and that wasn't the reality. And we tried to explain to them, and it was just like they want more money, more money, more money. I know that working for a company that you are basically dollar signs to them, you basically become dollar signs to them. So be it. I was there to get my money. The pay was great, don't get me wrong, but it becomes stressful when your voice is not being heard. And basically that's how I felt the whole entire time of being there, that my voice was not being heard, and that I was being disrespected in so many different levels, and not respected on a managerial level, because I was assistant store manager, and that's what I got hired into the store as, and that's what I left as, because I know damn well I did a great job at what I had to do. I tried my best to be a very good manager and tried to make sure that the team was on board, and that corporate wasn't like on our case about numbers and selling and stuff like that, because that's what they are worried about. Corporate is not in the store unless they visit, which became very frequent and became very annoying, because they wasn't seeing the progress that they wanted to see, so they assumed that we weren't doing what we had to do. And then that's where that came into play, where the store manager, who I love till this day so dearly, I see her as a mother, and I still see her as a mother till this day, even though that we're both not there anymore. They came in one day, corporate. This is our district manager and the VP of stores comes in one day, and they were on her case since day one. That's number one. Let's throw that out there. They were on her case since day one. They didn't give her proper training. They just threw her into the store. And the person who trained her, is a fucked up person. So the VP and our district manager came in one day, and you can tell when things aren't going how it should, and you can feel a vibe that something is wrong and something is going to happen. And that's what that day was. So they came in and they took my manager, which was the store manager, who was my direct boss, and which was everyone's direct boss of the store. They took her out the store for a few minutes. They came back and they fired her. How you just flat out fire someone that you didn't train properly, you didn't give them the time to show their efforts, and you flat out didn't like them since day one? That's how I feel about that. They didn't like sis since day one, and they only wanted her there until they felt that she didn't do well enough, and they had a reason to fire her, so they could bring in the next bitch. So in between me being depressed and dealing with all this other stuff, people are quitting, people are getting fired, stuff like that. So understaffed. So they fired the store manager. After that, I was like really not very fond of corporate. After seeing that go down, I didn't trust corporate. I didn't trust the operations of the store, stuff like that. So I became very jaded by that, by them firing my store manager. So after they fired the store manager, they bring in my first manager from the Soho location on Broadway in Soho, which was my store manager that hired me. So we had a very great relationship and everything was cool. And honestly, I didn't think that they would give her the store to operate and call her own. And she's have this big thing where she's credible. She's opened all these stores, yada, yada, yada. So I had faith in her, and I trusted that everything would be okay. The fucking joke was on me. So I was warned. I was warned by so many people about working alongside her. This tea, y'all get ready. Okay. I became super frustrated with the circumstances that the store was in, and that corporate was basically visiting every other day to make sure that we were doing what we were doing and see what the issue was, when I multiple times have said what the issue was and stuff like that. That location is trash, basically. The people that come in that store are so rude. Like, it was ridiculous. So now that things aren't looking how it should be, my store manager started to switch it up a bit. And I didn't appreciate it. So I let her rock, because being under that pressure is definitely not the best. And this is pressure that I've been feeling since February. Mind you, I've been there longer, and I knew what the store, you know, was all about, and what was going on, and what we liked in, and what we needed. I understood the pressure that she was under, because I had been under that for months. So I understood where she was coming from on so many different levels. But then, you know, she started to act funny, and then I didn't really appreciate that. So I was informed some tea that the team didn't like me and all this other stuff, and that this whole hate parade was created because basically I was the only one going hard and trying to make sure that the store was good and all of this. And it ended up that people didn't like me because I was too direct and stuff like that. So be it, that's my job. But as a store manager, I'm trying to drive results. That's our favorite line. Well, in any corporate standpoint, any retail store, they're going to say drive results, because that's what you're there to do. You're there to make sure that results are high and stuff like that. So that's all I was trying to do, and make sure that we didn't have corporate on our ass like they were. And I ended up becoming the bad guy for it. So boom. I didn't mind, and I really didn't care that the team or team members, I don't want to say the whole team, but I know for a fact that a lot of people was talking behind my back and stuff like this. I don't care. I'm there to get paid, and so are you. At the end of the day, I could have fired your ass multiple times. This is to many of the workers. You could have been written up multiple times and stuff like that, but I wasn't doing that. I wasn't writing people up or sending people home. I didn't start sending people home until like the few weeks before I resigned, because it was just getting ridiculous with some of those workers. But so like shortly after that whole hate parade was created, and I was told that the store manager, was telling our employees to call the hotline on me. So basically, you were telling me that you were telling these people I can't talk about this tea while doing this liner, because what I'm about to say is some real shit. So I basically finished the eyes. I'm going to conceal the top of my brows now. So sis going to tell these workers to call the hotline on me after I did nothing but bend over backwards and forwards for her, and for that team, and for that store. So after that, I was just like, you dead ass, like, you really gonna play me and tell these workers, employees, to call the anonymous hotline on me because they're complaining about me doing my job. Yes, I might have been too direct and people's feelings might have got hurt. Can't handle the pressure. That's that. So after that was found out, it was a store meeting called, and I was just like, I'm not gonna say anything crazy. I'm just gonna let everybody say what they need to say, and if I need to defend myself, that's what I'm gonna do. So we get to the meeting. I'm just like, I'm over it, because like, why is anyone feeling a certain way about somebody doing their job and not even like meeting them halfway? How can you get mad at somebody for doing their damn job? How you get mad at someone for doing their job when you can't do your own fucking job? So a lot of those girls in there could not simply fucking do a simple task such as putting a product where the product goes. Yes, some products do look alike, but if you sit and read, this is where the product go. I spent most of my days cleaning and fixing that store because I was the brand manager. I had to make sure that everything in the store was tip-top shape and presentable and sellable to the public. So the meeting starts or whatever, and then basically the whole meeting becomes about how I'm too strict and people were scared of me and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, yo, I was not doing too much. Like, there was no way that whole meeting turned out about me. And I was just so confused. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? This is not the place for me. Apparently, I'm not appreciated and I'm not, you know, taken serious enough. Because my thing was, if you did your fucking job, you wouldn't have nobody telling you what the fuck to do. So that's all I feel about that. And I was just like, whatever. I'm finished with the eyes. I'm now priming the face. I'm going to start doing my face now. So after that whole meeting, I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's really not worth it because obviously my work isn't being valued. So from that point on, I decided to, you know, start looking for other jobs and just like make it known that I wasn't going to be there much longer and, you know, to prepare for it. So let's get back to the tea. So after you tell me that I bent over backwards for you, you're going to tell them to call a hotline on me. Cool. So after that, I was just like, you know what? And that you talk behind my back about all this other stuff and just being like messy. I was like, I'm not with it. So that's when I started to fall back, and she like realized that I really wasn't like associating myself with her. So she asked me, she was like, is something wrong? And I was just like, you know what? Can we just keep this on a business relationship? Because I know for a fact that you were talking about me to the workers and stuff like that. So I basically called her out on what was told to me. And of course, being who she is, she's like, no, you're in your feelings, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But I know for a fact that it was true because I was not the first person that she's done this whole charade with. She have a partner, she screwed them over, fucked them over, talk about them behind their back. So I knew what it was. So I was like, I honestly don't care what you have to say. I don't have much to say to you because I already know that it's true. I'm like, the gig is up, sis. Like, just, you know, own up to what you've done. Like, don't deny it because it's proven that you've done this before and that you're not a genuine person. Like, I'm here to just get my money. I don't give a fuck about your feelings and how you feel about me. But what you're not gonna do is, you know, try to turn people against me because you're uncomfortable and you see somebody that can come for your spot, you know, and somebody that knows what they're doing and that's not gonna sit there and kiss your ass all day and know that they have a voice. So that's what you're gonna do, is turn people against that person that's strong and that works hard for your liking. I was not falling victim to that, so I told her what I told her. I was like, it's no hurt feelings on the side, because I don't harbor hate towards people or create hate parades about people, you know, because I'm bored. I don't do that. So that's why I decided to, you know, just keep it on a business relationship level. And I was being cordial after that. But it came a point where, wow, I honestly don't remember what made me quit. So after everything went down, I did start looking for another job. Sephora did recruit me and they wanted to interview me because they were watching me and stuff like that. And I let her know, and I was like, listen, this is the reality. I may be leaving soon, so just be prepared. Got upset over that. And I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I can't please everybody, and I obviously can't please myself being here. So I'm just gonna not feel away about accepting the interview now. Like, I came to you as a person. I let you know what the possibilities were. So fast forward, nothing like really like transpired that made me like, oh, I'm quitting. But I literally woke up one day and I was reflecting, and I'm like, going through all of this for a fucking job that sells $2 items, want you to push $2 items down people's throats to make unachievable goals. The goals were doable, but like, come on, fam. Like, that mall is trash. Y'all could have chose a much better mall that would have got y'all more, you know, revenue than the mall that it was at. So y'all fucked up on that. So before I like state like, you know, what happened with me resigning, I just overall felt disrespected on so many levels working there, that like I sat there July 1st that morning, I remember, and I reflected and I'm like, yo, it's not really worth it. And I talked to my best friend and I'm like, yo, like, they already knew, like, my best friends already knew that this is something I wanted to do and move on. But I was gonna wait until I found a new job to quit. But it was just getting to a point where I was just like, it's not worth it. So I took it upon myself that morning. I reflected. I asked my best friend. I prayed on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna, I don't want to say give up, but I gave up, basically. I was like, I can't do it anymore, because, like, my whole thing is, she told these people to call a hotline on me for doing my job. That right there let me know that my work was not appreciated and that other agendas was, you know, applied and stuff like that. And I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. She calls me, or I think I called the store. I forgot how this all went down, to be honest, because it was just like a in the moment like type of thing. And we're on the phone or whatever, and she's asking me, can I come in at this time and come a little bit early? I was supposed to work that day too. That's not happening, but I wasn't trying to like quit over the phone. I was trying to do it. I wasn't trying to quit on the phone. I was trying to do it formally on formally through email. I was trying to do it formally through email with the district manager, thanking her for the position and stuff like that. I was trying to leave on good terms. I told her that me coming in wouldn't be possible, and I asked her if it was possible that I could receive the emails to the district manager and the VP of stores. And she was like, why? And I'm like, you'll see in the email, can you please give it to me? And then she went off on me. She was like, I don't see why you're acting like this or why you can't talk to me and stuff like that. And I legit was not trying to talk to her about quitting. I just wanted to send it through email and be over with it and live my life. But I was like, there's no way that you did all of this and gonna tell me that, oh, I don't understand why you won't talk to me. You know why I won't talk to you, because you are a fucked up person. That's why I won't talk to you. So I went off. I was like, listen, you don't think, you feel, and you act off of that. She was like, what? I'm like, you don't think. Like, you really don't think. She was like, I don't know what you mean. I was like, listen, I'm tired. I've been going through this for 6 months, and I'm gonna resign. And she was like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna resign. Can I get the emails so I could get it over with? She was like, you don't need the emails. She was like, I don't need to send an email to the VP of stores if I'm gonna do that. And I said, fine. I just hung up, and that was the last words on that. So overall, I just felt like disrespected on so many levels, and I didn't understand why a whole hate parade was created towards me when people had, you know, if you swear that you're grown and that you are mature, you had the option to, you know, pull me aside and talk about it. You didn't have to tell people to call a hotline on me and be vindictive and be a backstabber and all this other stuff and to cause drama in a place that's already filled with drama. Like, the focus was always just wrong in that store, and I said that, and I just tried my best, and it just wouldn't work for me. And that's why I left, because I just wasn't happy. I felt like I spent all my days there. I never had time to myself. In my opinion, it just wasn't worth it. So that's why I decided to take that risk and just, like, you know, put my freelancing and influencing first. Because I'm like, yo, I just don't have time to myself to do what I want to do and enjoy life. I'm sitting here miserable at a job that I don't even want to attain to. 99.9% of the time, I'm sitting there getting talked about and disrespected by customers and stuff like that. Like, that's a whole nother story. Like, so as far as the team was okay. It was just very, it was just a mess. That's how I felt about the team. Like, it was just no common sense, and people just didn't have common sense, and I could not surround myself with that. Like, it was just no initiative, and people doing dumb shit. Like, it was just so annoying. Like, some of the girls, I was just like, what the fuck and how? Like, how? But then I did have genuine relationships with a few of the girls that are there. You know who you are. I love you, and I thank you for understanding where I was coming from this whole time, and I wasn't really the bad guy, and you really sat me aside and told me about myself. Like, at times where I was acting crazy, like, that's all you had to do. And I thank them for doing that. So a lot of people really didn't know that I resigned, and I decided to, you know, keep my life private and not post everything on the internet. But I have stated that I, you know, resigned. It was like a lot of people really didn't know about this and why, because as everyone thought, I was like really happy with the job and I was always trying new products and stuff like that, and they thought that, you know, that I would be there for long. I would say in the makeup industry, you know, working the retail aspect, don't ever get too comfortable with the company, because they can let you go at any moment and they can, you know, switch up on you in the drop of a dime, because at the end of the day, some people jobs and spots are secured, so they'll be okay. So you just gotta watch your back, and I learned that from working at Elf, and I learned going forward onto my new job that I have to watch some of the things I do, because obviously some people may not, you know, see your point of view. A lot of people may not see your point of view or understand your work ethics, or why like you go so hard in what you do, because, you know, makeup is all I have. So I'm gonna put my best foot forward until I make it. So I go hard with everything, and that's working for a makeup company or me sitting down creating content right here explaining, you know, some real shit. So I'm gonna complete the look and I'm gonna come back and wrap up this tea time. So see you in a minute. All right, the look is all done. Very, I want to say glam, nothing too crazy, super cute. I'm really loving the lashes, and I'm loving the no under eye shadow. It looks really fresh. Highlight is from Dip Cosmetics in the style Horizon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is my first sit down and chat and talk. It might have been a little bit all over the place in my opinion, because, you know, some stuff had to take out because can't spill too much tea, but we spilled some tea. I made this decision in which I could have grew much more with the company. There was always more room to grow. There was no denying that the company allowed you to move up and, you know, explore what you wanted to explore within the company, which might have been like products, which would have been innovation. That's what I really wanted to do. Or you can, you know, manage stores and stuff like that. But there was no denying that there wasn't no place for me to be there, even though sometimes I did feel that, you know, gender and sexuality did play a little bit into why I was kind of treated the way I was. But that's a whole nother story, and that's a whole nother thought that I'm not even going to jump into, so we're going to leave that there. But overall, I just felt disrespected, and I felt that my mental health came first, because I was going through so much that I did not even want to sit down and create videos or create looks. I, let alone, didn't even want to get out of bed to go there and deal with what I had to deal with. So it was just like, you know, take the L and find elsewhere, you know. And it sucks that I do have to start over as far as like position wise, but I did find a new home to work at, and I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be very fabulous, because it is at Ulta, and Ulta is popping. You have all the brands, and there's so much more room to help your clients and customers and help them find what they need, because every brand has, you know, their signature products, and most of the brands in Ulta are very expansive on shade range and stuff like that. So there's no denying that I won't be able to help my fellow people of color, which do reside in that area that I will be working in. So it's gonna be something beneficial and something that I will enjoy more than I enjoyed working at Elf. And also I will have more time to sit down and film videos like this unless life gets busier. But I'm definitely gonna have more videos to put up for you guys, and I'm gonna be changing my style of posting. I'm not gonna be really doing tutorials. I want to do more sit down, talkative, and you know, spilling tea and stuff like that, but I still want to incorporate some makeup looks into what I post for you guys. Thank you for watching, and you should definitely subscribe after this video. There will definitely be more tea spilling videos because I have some stories to tell. So if you guys definitely enjoyed this video, give it a thumb. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching, and bye guys.